Welcome to the Real Estate Fight Club, a podcast for agents where you'll witness a battle of opinions about topics affecting your real estate business. Now, always in your corner, here are your hosts, Jen Murtland and Monica Weakley.
What we need right now is a source for great leads, and I found it. It is called Pipeline Pro Tools. So about 90 days ago, I booked a demo with them. And in that demo, we reverse engineered my business. We figured out how many leads we needed to get in order to get to the closings that we want. And they gave me a playbook to use in order to get that. So I've been using it for 90 days. We've gotten 12 qualified leads, and about half of them are already under contract or closed, which is great. And it is right now my number one source for my best leads that I'm getting. I love this thing. I'm about to ramp up the number of leads that I get with them as well. So, and you might think it's expensive, and it's not. So I was looking for something that's very inexpensive, like affordable to everyone, but also generated great leads. We don't want crap leads. So what you do in order to get this, because I called them and I wanted to partner with them because I was like, this is exactly what our audience has been looking for. So they set up something specific just for us, just for Fight Club listeners. So you would go to pipelineprotools.com/Fight Club. And then you go to the demo, and the demo will show you how many leads you need in order to get the number of closings that you want to get. And then they will give you the playbook that I'm using, my number one playbook for getting leads. And then you can use it too, and we can have happy closings. So go to pipelineprotools.com/Fight Club, book and go to the demo and get all the leads.
Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Fight Club. What's up, Jay Mert?
Hey, Monica, I am pumped for our guest today.
Oh, you shouldn't be, because
I know.
Down like a Led Zeppelin, baby. Kara is my spirit agent from down south.
Down under.
No, that's Australia.
That's Australia.
Yeah. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode. We love our listeners. Thanks for always being here, and I think you're in for a big treat today. Today, Jen and I, and Kara and I, are very special heavy hitter guests. Kara and I are going to fight Jen, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
About this question. How do you sell more than 75 homes a year in your second year of real estate, only using social media? No paid ads, no nothing, just social media. She's not some sort of trained wizard or media agency guru. She's not particularly savvy in some sort of creative tool. She's just an incredible agent, incredible lady. Welcome, Kara.newton.
Yay, Kara.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks for being on. Now, don't get it twisted though, Monica. Kara is a hustler.
I understand she's probably got a little Mert in her, but she's still Team Monica.
She's a boss in pink. So her team is called TKB Realty Group, which is taking care of business.
Kara business.
Yep.
Yeah. Like
I love
Kara,
it.
like her name. Yeah. Pretty clever.
So Kara, you're in the triad there in North Carolina. Tell us about your journey, because you've only been a real estate agent for 3 years and you are killing it.
Yes. So thank you guys for having me on. I got my license officially in May of 2019, and how it happened, I had about 3 people over the last 3 years try to tell me to get in real estate before I got into it. And I was just like, no, don't need it. And the guy was like, I know somebody's in it and has no personality, kills it 6 figures a year, and you would do great with your personality. And I was like, nope, I'm good. I'm selling makeup at this time. And finally, I actually went through a really rough patch in my life, and I was sitting on my couch and I received a text on my phone, and it said, I'm going to do real estate, and I think you should do it with me. You'd be really great at it. School starts March 14th, and this is March 7th. And so, long story short, I jumped in, didn't tell anybody I was going to do it because I was terrified of failing. Put it on a credit card, actually, my classes. And finally did it, failed the class the first time. So you do not have to be fantastic at testing. I'm horrible at testing.
So good.
But failed it where I could still take it without having to take the 75-hour course again. But I had a reshot at it. I barely passed it by like 3 points. Went and took the national and state, failed the state. So actually failed 2 times. So don't let that stand in your way for sure. and signed with a firm. And within my first 6 months, I sold 10 homes. And then my next year I sold 60. And then my second year I sold 79, plus I think 5 outgoing referrals. And this year I'm on track to probably do somewhere between 80 and 90.
That's amazing.
Wow.
How do you, I mean, your social media feed is like on point, but it's not like Monica was saying, it's not like it's really curated, but it's intentional, right? Tell us a little bit more about that.
So I am very strategic with every post that I make. That's on my Facebook wall. Now, if you go to my stories, that's just a little bit different. That's just like whatever you catch me doing through the day. Like this morning, I went to the gym. I was like rise and grind, was at the gym at 6:47 a.m. So I post a picture. When I leave the gym, I post a picture. I got home, made myself like an omelet, some fruit, post a picture, fueling myself up. And like in my little story, it said fueling myself up to wash my hair extensions today because it takes a lot to dry these things. So it's just being like
Real.
Real. And then usually as I'm walking out my door, I will share like kind of like a rundown, like good morning, this is what I've got on my agenda today. And then just throughout the whole day, I like share a little bit about my life and like what I eat. People are obsessed with what I eat because I like to eat clean. It just gives them ideas. Someone messaged me the other day and she's like, I get great ideas of like new food I can eat by what you post. And like Dario, it's a local little like fast food chain. I'll go and just get grilled chicken. No one knew that you could just go there and get grilled chicken. And so it's just like little things like that, just sharing whatever I do. On my wall, on my actual Facebook wall, it's very different. I'm very strategic on what I post. I share like a lot about my life. So like everyone knows that I have 3 kids. They know that like my son is a wrestler. They know one of my daughters plays volleyball. They know I love everything pink, if you can't tell.
Got it by the dresser in the back. Yep.
Everything's pink. Cup to the point. My lock boxes are pink. Like everybody knows that I'm pink. I have a pink car. It's a rolling billboard. So it's just really just dialing into that. Everyone on my social media knows I love Marshalls. So sometimes I'll go to Marshalls and I'll post, or like today, I could do like an outfit of the day. I get really high traffic on those. Like I think everything that I'm wearing is from Marshalls except my earrings. And so it's just really just people want to know who you are without trying to sell to them. So I really never sell, although I'm really good at selling myself, but through an authentic, organic way.
What is your case? Like, do you have a certain number of stories that you're making sure that you hit every day, or it's just like, whatever?
I do. I try to do between 8 and 12 stories a day. Sometimes there's 16, sometimes there's 20, it depends. But normally I try to never let a day go by without doing 8. And it doesn't matter. Like I never take a day off. So it doesn't matter if I'm on vacation or whatever. My stories just might shift a little bit. So like I'm leaving to go to Florida on Sunday. So like my stories will be kind of like at the airport,
getting ready,
going to meet my friend, going to Florida. Like, but I'm always still showing up. It's a consistent, like I'm very, very consistent. And when I was in my makeup business, I was actually known as the consistency queen. That's what they call me.
See, this is where we get along, Kara.
Well, this is the answer to all things right here.
It is. Yeah. So you're generating, like you're getting leads from that because you are purposeful, you are consistent, and you're saying those stories. How did you come up with 8 to 12? Was that just random and it's been working, or like?
It's just been working. That's just kind of what I have just found through my day. On average, that's what it averages out to, is 8 to 12. And so I always try. Like in OKC, I was like, oh my goodness, I've only done 3 stories today. What's wrong with me?
Right.
But normally I do. And I will tell you, if I slack, there was a couple days I was just going through a really rough time in my life and I didn't post. I had some people message me and be like, hey, are you okay? Like I haven't seen you post anything. So people, they like know to expect, like, what's Kara doing today? And in my office, it's me, and then there's a cell phone store next door. And just this week, a lady came by and tapped on the door, and I knew her from a previous business. And she goes, and I wrote it down somewhere, and she was like, I can't get on Facebook without seeing you. And she's like, and there she goes again. Like, so that tells you, like, she made a stop, like in my office.
That's awesome.
Because of that.
Would you ever, oh, sorry, Monica.
What about the real estate aspect? I'm sure you're peppering that in. What is the ratio of that? And what is your intention around informing or educating or contributing in a real estate from a real estate standpoint?
So how I run my social media, I used to teach on this when I was in the makeup business. You should have 5 topics that you surround your life with. And so for me, it's family, it's real estate, it's gym, it's Marshalls, and it's like inspiration.
And pink? Pink's not a topic?
Well, because pink is like everything about me. So it's like everything. Everything I buy is pink, and real estate's pink, and everything's pink. So pink is definitely in there, but you should have at least 5. Now I probably have 6 or 7. So all of my posts that I make have to circle around those 5 to 6 or 7 topics, because otherwise your feed is just like a hot mess express. And so like I've dialed in it so much. I reference my makeup company a lot because I really grew through that. But we did this little sheet where they had us go and like write down like 5 things about our brand, and then it went around the room. It hit someone, and she literally wrote on it, "I know exactly who this is. This is Kara to a T." And so she knew me through Facebook. And so she knew.
Wow, that's awesome.
So I feel like I see a lot of agents, they'll just throw like, it's like I don't even know. It's like chaos. And so
are you attacking me, Kara? I feel like you are.
Yes, she might have been reviewing our Facebook pages.
Sorry.
But I used to teach social media, like, because not that I know anything about it, but it's just because I learned what worked. And so I would just teach what was working for me. And so everything on my post, if you go to my Facebook right now, everything that I have shared will circle around those. And so when you say like real estate, so like the other night, I think it was maybe last night, I did this crazy video of me dancing, and I did this little dance, and I was like, because I put 2 under contract that day. And then, for instance, every once in a while, I'll do a recap of like my numbers, because it's important. If you want people to hire you, you have to show them that you're capable of doing the job. So no one needs to know that I'm like a top producer in my area. They don't need to know I'm a top 1% agent. But why do I share it? It's because people don't know it unless I give them the perspective to know it. People can only know what you tell them and what you show them.
Right.
So sometimes I'll actually try to actually show them, like, here's the like screenshot out of 5,000 agents last year. I was number 50 or 52, but that was including all the teams. I was a solo agent. You take the teams out, I think I was a top 5.
Nice.
So I try to show them
always, right? So what were you doing when you didn't have that to hang on?
So what I would do, and I teach this a lot to new agents, is showing people what you're doing, going out and showing homes. So when I'm getting ready to leave, my first 6 months, I would go to my office and I would sit there, and then I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go out and do a showing. And I would do a story before I left to go do my showing. Then when I would get there, I would take another little video, walking up the steps, like, oh, I'm going to do this showing. And then I would find something in the house that was kind of cool, and I might would share that. Or sometimes I would take it and be like, showing find today, and I would post it on my like wall. And then I would be like, oh, I'm showing 3 houses today. So grateful for business. If you're looking to buy or sell, always hit me up. So that's what I did when I was first in it. And this is where some people, and this market's a little different, but I tell them, you can still do this. If there's a house that's been sitting for 30 days, call that agent, say, hey, I'm looking to build my social feed to really just share with like what I do. Would you be okay if I go to your listing that's been on the market for 30 days and do like a video tour?
Yeah, great idea.
If it's been on the market for 30 days, like I'm the type of, I don't care. Like you share whatever I like.
I want you to. There's agents. Right.
Like for instance, there is an agency in our town here, and they put on all their stuff. You're not welcome to share any photos on your social media. So I don't share their stuff. It's in the agent only remarks, and they will call you or they'll turn you in. And so like, I'm just to operate that way. I feel like that's a scarcity mindset. And I operate in an abundant mindset. If I can help an agent unlock a key to being successful by sharing on their social media and bringing a buyer and then getting their first or even their 10th deal, or 100th deal, like why not like work together? And so that's how I operate. That's what I did when I first started. I would just share like everything I was doing. I would share it all. And then if the first one I put under contract, I posted about it. I went to the inspection. I posted about it. It's just people want to know that you're actually working hard for your clients.
What if you're not doing anything, Kara? You have no clients, no leads.
Get busy, go do something.
It might put you on blast and like you're like, oh, how can I get leads? But you were talking about, okay, so on your stories, you do the 6 to 8 stories per day. That makes sense, right? Share everything that you're doing, personal, business, around the 5 topics that you like and enjoy. But then in the feed, you said you're more purposeful about the feed, and they cover the 5 topics. but like, what is the frequency of that or the cadence of that?
Like how many that I post per day?
Yeah. Or like, however you do it, what is your
Are you
thought
intentional
process?
about the different pillars? Are you, is there any planning to that? Or is it just, you've got it such down to a science, it's just kind of coming
So
naturally?
it is a science for me.
Mhm.
Everywhere I'm at, I'm looking for an opportunity of what can I post. And sometimes I'll capture it and then I'll hold it. So like today I came across something that I had shared like in 2019. And so I was like, oh yeah, that's a really good one. So like, okay, today I'm going to capture a photo that I can correlate with that. And so for me, on my wall, I probably post 2 to 5 times a day. It just depends on like what the day is holding for me. I love to inspire people. So usually like if I'm listening to like in the morning, I am affirmations or a podcast of whatever mindset, whatever.
Did you say Real Estate Fight Club podcast?
Real Estate Fight Club podcast? Yeah.
Fight Club. I did tell somebody today about it. And so you should have got a new subscriber
Good, thanks.
today. But yeah, so I try to do something inspirational most days. And then usually I'll do something with real estate, and then I try to do something with my family. Like I tend to spend a lot of time with my kids. So like, I went to OKC, and then that night I got home. I did not arrive till 11 p.m. I went straight from the airport and met them at our local diner. And so of course I took a picture like, hey, I'm hanging out with my kids, just got in from the airport, but I'm so excited to see my kids. Like people love to see that kind of stuff. And when you can connect with them through those pieces, when they're looking for an agent, who are they going to call? They're going to call somebody where they feel that they have a connection with. And so it works really well.
You've created a reality TV show in still shots and short videos, right?
And you know what?
Like the
Monica?
Kardashian of real estate, basically. Like, here's
better.
Wow, here's what I'm eating. Yeah.
Less drama. And that was actually going to be my question. It's a very critical question about real estate, but what reality show would you be on if you had to be on one?
So this is going to sound crazy. I don't watch hardly any TV. None.
That's okay.
Good for you.
I don't either.
I just don't watch it. I will tell you, I started watching Selling Sunset, and I think I got about 15 minutes in it and turned it off.
You're like,
It is not, and maybe I should have let myself get into it a little bit deeper, but it just seemed like a lot of drama, and I'm like, this is not real estate.
It's
But
too
I
much.
just don't watch TV, and that started when I got into network marketing. I took the TV time and flipped it to personal growth, into books. And so
Boom.
I realized, and that's one of the things you would ask about the principles of business. I get asked, all the time, like, what do you do? Well, I do personal growth. So like my morning routine now is I get up and I listen to, while I'm getting ready, 20 minutes of I am affirmations or a mindset, some type of mindset podcast.
Mhm.
And then through the day, if I'm going to go on a trip, I will turn on it might be a real estate podcast. It might be a sermon from Stephen Furtick. I don't know what it is. Usually I try to use that as like a rolling university to learn. And then at night, I've just started this and it's been crazy. I go to sleep to meditation, guided meditation, and whatever I'm feeling that day, because there's all different types. And so I think that I know that that's a lot of the reason where I'm at my journey. I've read so many books and done lots of mindset work. And so when you do all that work, it's going to help evolve your business, because when you grow yourself, it grows everything.
Yeah. Well, what are you reading now, or what's one of your favorite books?
So one of my absolute favorites, I'm actually reading it for the second time, is The Gap in the Game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I've read it.
Love it.
Yeah.
And then Who Not How, I'm in the middle of that one. And so those are probably
That's a good one for you, Kara,
yes,
as you grow.
Yes. Who Not How. It's been pretty mind blowing. I think I'm halfway through it. So yeah, those are the books. But if you go to my house, you're going to see all kinds of books,
Yeah.
There's
Awesome.
tons of books.
How do you organize your database, or human base? Probably you would refer to it more as, what does that look like? Where is it? How often do you talk to them? What other tools are you using to talk to them besides social media?
So this is where it's a very vulnerable question. So, I hired a coach about 3 months ago, and I'm a firm believer of coaching. I had coaching with network marketing. But we just recently got a CRM. So everything has just been right here. And then through social media. And now I'm touching them if their year anniversary or their whatever, I'm starting to touch them. And then now we're adding in, since I actually have an admin now, we're adding in client events, Christmas mini photos, little things like that. We're just now starting to add in. But beforehand, it's honestly just been me just running. I'm just rolling. I mean, I had 17 pending with no admin, no TC. So now we're getting a little bit more.
You can breathe.
And breathe. And it's helping a lot, but it's always, honestly, it's just been in my brain. And I'm trying to get it out for my coach because it needs to get out of here so it can, someone else can, if I fall for tomorrow, it's there.
Right. And Monica, that's actually how Kara and I met, because we have John Kitchens, who's one of our partners, is also both of our coaches. And so we met in Oklahoma City.
Hey, John.
Hey, John.
Hey, John. Yep.
Oh yeah, yes, he'll change your thinking on a few things or help you navigate a mindset shift every once in a while, huh?
He will, yes. Yep. Good. But going back to agents building their brand through social media, I think it's just really important to really just dial into who you are as a person and let people see it. And I think it's what people are afraid of. And I just share it all. Like last night for the first time, I bought my first home 6 weeks ago, went through a separation and finally bought my first home.
Yay.
And finally shared it and shared a little bit about the story of it in like a positive way. And so, people love that. Like they just love to hear people's stories. And that's how I feel like that's where I get a lot of business. And then my marketing, there's no one in this area that's dialing into marketing like I do. And I do like the HGTV style videos and do the walkthrough with the properties. And I'll be honest, I think again, it goes back to a scarcity mindset. I'm not afraid to spend money to make money. And most of these agents want to go grab a sign and put it in the yard and just hope to get a paycheck. And I just operate differently. I'll drop $500 to get my photos or $1,000 to get my photos and videos when a lot of people are like, well, I'll just take cell phone photos, And so I think it's like, my thing was in the last 2 years, I didn't need to do any of that marketing. The house was going to sell regardless. But now the market, is a little bit different. And so those people that saw me do it when I didn't have to do it, they're going to be like, she created a standard. So I'm going to do it. I did it when I didn't have to do it. And I'm going to do it I'm going to always do it. I'm not going to be like the other agents who stop doing really anything, just throw it on social media with crappy cell phone photos. And then now they realize, oh, got to change it. Well, I'm ahead of the game now.
Yeah.
So those are your standards. You created standards, and that's going to help you build referrals as well, because that's your foundation and it's there no matter what. And people know that about you now.
Referral business is really picking up. I'm putting two listings on the market next week. And it's from,
just wait until you have repeat customers. You're still a new baby.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, and I think what I like about you, Kara, is you made it really easy, right? Like social media can be very overwhelming. You got to do 5 million things. And you're like, no, do 2 things. Post in your stories 6 to 8 times a day, post in your feed 2 to 5 times a day, curate it around you. And that's it, whatever your topics are. And for now, that's it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it's also, you found a balance of vulnerability without it being negative in some way.
That's what I was wondering if you're going to say.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the word, if that's the right word. So help me with that a little bit. But that vulnerability is, I think, what a lot of agents are afraid of. They think their Facebook post has to be this perfect vision board of the amazing business they have and the amazing life they have. And that's just not relatable. So therefore, nobody's connecting. So therefore, they're not going to be drawn to you. So therefore, they're not going to hire or be interested in you, right? So what's that balance there for you?
So I've learned that just being vulnerable. So I struggled with this, honestly. And this kind of comes down to my separation, where I was just like, okay, Kara, you're preaching, living like this authentic and happy and joyful life. And it looks like you have it all together. But there was many days I would get my phone and I would start to post and I'd be like, oof, that's not feeling right. And I would just delete it. And I went through a period of 3 days where I didn't really post anything because nothing felt right. And I just knew that I wasn't showing up authentic. And so finally, once the separation, everything happened, I just made this really long post about it's okay not to be okay, because I would get these messages in my inbox about you just have the perfect, most fairy tale life. You just have it all. And I got to the point where it was really I see a message come through and I would get really irritated because I'm like, you just don't even know. And so finally I was just like, okay, well, Kara, whose fault is that? Because you're the one that creates the perfect life. And so finally, once I made that post, and over the last, I think it's been about 8 weeks where I've been really sharing, every maybe 2 to 3 weeks, I'll do a deep post. And that one post of it's okay not to be okay it finally, it like clicked. And then I even put in there, I was just like, you know, I've never shared this because I thought that if I shared it, people might not hire me.
Mhm.
And I was like, but my personal life has nothing to do with how I show up for my clients. And we all fight battles that people don't know about. And once I started really sharing that, like there's days that that are not okay days. And normally on those days, I will share about those days or post something in my story. Like last night, I was having a really rough night. Going home, there had been some things that had happened through the day, and you know, and separation is not easy. We were married almost 20 years. And I was driving down the road and just really just struggling in my feels, and I'd been crying. And then I just happened to look to the left, and there was this beautiful sky. And I was just like, I captured a picture of it driving down the road. And once I got to my house, I posted about it. If God can do that in the sky, what can he do for me? And so I just sharing that vulnerability and letting people know that, like, yeah, I might be a successful agent, as everybody says, making a lot of money, because, you know, they think they know how much money I make, 6%. They don't, you know, they don't know that we don't get full 6%, but you know, they like, she makes a lot of money and she's all this. And finally, like, I wanted people to know that, like, you can have it all. You can have all the money in the world, look like you have the fairy tale life, be super unhappy. And so now, like, I'm digging deep, you know, I see a therapist every week. I talk about it very openly. I used to think, I grew up in like a religion cult type. And I used to think that we were taught that if you saw a therapist, you were cuckoo. Like, that's just what we were taught. And now I've realized, like, that's not the thing. So I openly share and talk about my therapist and how much that therapist has helped me start really healing as a person. Because, like, you know, they can say you can eat your kale and work out and do all this, but if you don't deal with this crap in your in it will exude, and it will prevent you from receiving, you know, and really having that happy life. And so I've really become really open with sharing that. And it's I feel like it's really almost taken my business to another level.
I'm sure it has. I'm getting the word I'm getting from you, which is a really simple word that I love, is the word and. And we think that somehow you have to be this or that, super successful or down in the dumps, depressed, super happy or down in the dumps. And we can be both. We can have a freaking kick-ass business, know how to help people at the highest level in real estate, and also be breaking inside. Like, we are
days like that,
right? You know, and what you're doing is just bringing that to light, and people have way more in common with the broken side than the success side. So if you never show that, you're not connecting with anybody. I think that's really cool, Kara. I love that.
I love it. What's next? What's next for you on your growth and your what?
We need to take a break and then come back to what's next. Yeah.
Let's hear a word from our favorite partners, and then we'll be back with Kara.
Somebody has to run this show.
That might as well be you. Shit.
Welcome back to the battle inside of the ring. I don't know that we're actually battling, because I think Jen and I both can appreciate what Kara brings. She is a badass hustler who also understands the power of relationship and social media and demonstrating kind of who you are, how you operate, what you bring to the table. So you're like a good kind of maybe a
mix.
The only person I've ever seen that's like,
if me and Monica had a baby, it'd be Kara.
Yeah, it's Kara. Oh, Kara, we'll adopt you.
I'm sorry, Kara.
This is a dysfunctional family you don't want any part of, I'll tell you that.
But Kara, before we took that break, I wanted to ask you, like, what's next for you? I mean, are you growing a team? Like, what are you doing?
What's next?
What are you working on? What are you like? What's the gap you're working on?
Ooh.
What's the gap? I like that.
All that.
So what's next is honestly continuing to dominate. I love the word dominate. I plan to dominate Randolph County and literally like take it over. We have a moving truck. So we offer that for our clients. So that's something we're just now, we unveiled it, but then I went through that life change. And so it just kind of sat there, and now we're getting ready to like rock it out and put that. So when they use me, they can have a moving service. But I have a full-time admin as of December. She's fantastic. She works Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And then my next thing is bringing on an agent. And then after I bring on an agent, I really want to dial into having like a productions, like to where I can do more video, like driving down the road, like behind my days and vlogging and like more of that. So obviously people watch me. I have YouTube and I don't even hardly ever use it. And an agent came in today and was like, I pulled in and I saw your car and I was like, that's that girl on YouTube. I watched her video. I was like, oh, maybe I better dial into YouTube. Because I used to do YouTube really big in my makeup company, you know, and shared lots of tips on how to build it. But that's really is bringing on an agent is the next thing just to leverage, because I don't have any paid lead services. And my next step is to get like the Google ads and the pay-per-clicks and all that. But like, I've not done it because I'm terrified of getting more business because I can't handle more business. Because it's really important for me to have time for me, for the gym and, you know, my kids and all of that. And I don't want to ever, like last year I worked so hard and I literally looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I'm okay with doing like 60% of what I did last year and giving 40% to someone else so I can actually enjoy the money I make. Like,
right.
I make all money, you can enjoy it. I can't travel like Jen, you know?
Yeah.
You can. Well, not with kids. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you can. They like traveling.
Well, I was going to say, or they frown upon leaving them at home. Like you're just not supposed to do
my
that.
kid is 19, almost 19, 17, almost 14. So
Oh, you're good. You're good.
I've already done my time there, but
Yeah, you have. That's good.
is really important. And just, I would love to get out in the community more, but honestly, right now, like I stay so busy, you know, I can't, like my board right now has like 19 deals we're working on right now. That doesn't include like 6 or 7 buyers. I'm a single agent. So it's just too much. And so bringing on an agent, I can leverage and to hand over the buyers and really, I love buyers, but at some point you gotta, like, I don't have enough time. It's one person. So that's what's next, is really probably bringing on the agent and then that production, because I love the video side.
Yeah. Nice.
Awesome. Well, did you have any final thoughts for the listeners on, I just really like how you kept it simple.
Yeah. It's just, I think just people overthink it. I have a lot of people even in my downline with the XTs, like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I just show up. And that's the problem, is most people will show up for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months and they'll call me and be like, it's not working. I'm like, did you gain that when you go to the gym? Did you gain that weight in 2 months? And did it come off in 2 months? No, like you have to, it's a muscle. And I've been building this muscle since 2014. Since 2014, I've really never taken a day off social media except for a short period of 6 months when I worked at a car dealership and I didn't have to utilize social media. Other than that, like I'm hammering and I'm always adapting to the new things of showing up on video. Even when I have to show up on video, like I'll show a picture. I'll take a picture of like my armpit because it's like soaked, and I'll be like, I'm terrified, but I also know what that does for my business. So I'm willing to be uncomfortable to get to that. Like right now, like my legs are sweating, but say yes to opportunity. That's what my coach said. And when I told John, I was like, I'm on her podcast and I was like, I'm terrified, but you said say yes. So I'm saying yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. And if people are interested in working with you, maybe on your team, or they want to send a referral to you, what is the best way to get a hold of you? I have a feeling it's going to be Instagram, but.
So that was one thing I was going to mention. So I honestly don't do much Instagram.
Okay.
I do Instagram stories. I do Instagram, but I've flipped it a little bit to my personal. I'm getting ready to start like a more of a business page, but it's TKB Realty Group, Broker by XT on Facebook. And I do 90% of my business is from Facebook. And I'm just now tapped in and starting to get business from Instagram because I'm actually tapped into the reels. But Instagram's hard for me. I don't know why, but Facebook's where I build all my
business. Seems like it would be easier for you.
Yeah, it's hard. To me, it's hard. I feel like Facebook is relational. And I feel like Instagram, I got tied down, and this is where it struggled. I got tied into thinking it had to look a certain way with the certain overlays and all these like things you hear from these like influencers. And now like I just show up as me. This might have a different filter. This might be regular, and it's working. And so I'm just now really starting to build my Instagram. But Facebook is where I'm at. But Instagram, it's She's Taking Care of Business, and then on Facebook, it's TKB Realty Group, brokered by XP.
Awesome.
And so you're doing all that on a business page?
So on a business page, I do a lot of business through my business page, but my personal page is where my gold mine is.
That's right, because that's where people connect with you as a human being.
Because I'm not running it like a business page. I'm running it like me, sharing my business too.
Awesome. And you did this so relatively quickly. And I know you had been using Facebook to build your makeup business. When you very first started that, did you have the self-talk that a lot of agents have of like, I don't want to be that person, that agent, they're going to get sick of me, they're going to, unfriend me? Like Talk about
Oh,
that
yeah.
process.
I had that, and I now have about 20,000 followers, but I started with 1,600 people when I first started my makeup business in 2014. And then it just blew up, and I ended up having a team of, I recruited one person, and then over 2.5 years, it ended up being, I was a mentor to 4,997 when I left in 2.5 years, all through the power of social media. And I did used to think that in my head, like, oh my gosh, probably gonna lose a friend today because I posted another mascara photo. And I finally just had to get that out of my head. And it honestly, I don't really feel like I got that out of my head until probably within the last year or so, because I think it's something really hard. And like last night when I shared the photo about buying a house and my kids and all that, like I remember after I posted it for about 15 minutes, I was like, should I go delete that? Like, that's really personal. Should I go delete that? And if I was just like, this is you. And if you do lose a client because they don't like something you shared, it's probably not the client you needed to work with.
That's exactly right. Yep. Yeah.
And I curse every once in a while. I never used to on social media. It's like, oh, what are people gonna think of me? And now if I do, I do. And if it offends somebody, it is. But if you're trying, I'm not going to try to, before I curated my life around what people would think, and I still battle with it daily. But I bet you, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I was like at a 10. I mean, we're at like a 2, like, well, let's say 10. Worry about people think. Now I'm probably at like a 2 or 3.
Your give a shit meter is dropping.
My give a shit meter is dropping.
That's right. I remember my coach saying, because I struggled with that as well, because I want everybody to like me and don't want anybody to not like me, because that would be awful.
Yeah, that's right.
That would keep me up at night. But he said, how are you going to attract without repelling? You think that you are above all universal laws of attracting and repelling? Like, you have to repel in order to attract, especially at the level we need to create these kind of raving fans for people to really be diehard with you. You're gonna lose people. You have to. And if you're not, then you are not doing it right. You're not creating the opposite side of that, which is those super fans that you have in clients.
Yeah. You just gotta be who you are, and the right crowd will come, and then the ones that are not for you will fall. And it has taken a long time to get there, and I'm not 100% there, but I'm way up the ladder than I was.
Love it. Jen, where's your give a shit meter?
I mean, I feel like it's negative. It's been there for a long time.
I totally see that with you.
That's
totally.
her.
Yeah, that's you.
Kara, we really appreciate you being on. You are amazing, and congratulations on all your success. And I cannot wait to see you in like 2-3 more years from now. I'm pumped.
And one other really quick thing, people can go to my personal page and follow me. I ask that they don't friend me because there's only so many spots, but they can follow me. Everything's public, because that will give them a really good understanding of what I do. And then they can kind of like follow along, because I post 90% of my business is from my personal page, and it's just kara.newton.
Okay. Well, you really helped some people today. I'm 100% sure of that, because you have all of the, self-doubt and the vulnerability that we all have, and you've managed to harness it or position it in a way that's worked for you, and it's real and it is authentic. And I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And I have one question.
Yeah.
Did that dresser come pink? You guys have to go to the YouTube channel if you're listening to this podcast. Is it pink, or did you have it painted?
I hired like my hairdresser's daughter, who's in interior design school, to design my office, and so it's pink, and it's pink everywhere. The whole office is pink.
I can't even imagine.
And she painted them. Yeah.
I love it. All right, that's going to have to be it for us today, I think, Jen. And as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in, being with us. Hope you grabbed a couple nuggets out of here that'll get you into action, especially on social media. I'm telling you, it is the easiest, fastest, most authentic, organic way to make a difference in your income. Yep. And it's time that you got over yourself and get after it, right?
Yes.
Yep.
That's right. Yes. So do all the things, the follow, the like, the share. If there's an agent that you know that you've been encouraging to do social media, send them this podcast. I think you'd really help them with Kara's tips and honesty and all that she shared with us today.
Yes. And Monica. Yeah, thanks, Kara. And Monica and I want to work with you. And if you want to work with us, give us a call at 513-400-1691. All right. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Hey guys, it's Monica here. I am so excited to introduce you to Real Estate Fight Club's newest partnership, Cyberbacker. Cyberbacker is the best in the business for virtual assistants. How do I know this? Because I am a Cyberbacker customer and I love this company. I have my favorite, Frances. She is my cyberbacker, been with me for over a year. She's amazing. She makes me better. She's eager to help. She's on time. She's disciplined. She's awesome. And this company, Cyberbacker, has figured out the system from the interviewing process to find out what I need, to the interviewing process to interview several cyberbackers, to the onboarding process, to the training process. Very buttoned up, very awesome. You and I both know it's time for you to leverage. It's time for you to take that step, and Cyberbacker is a really safe, awesome solution. Make sure to mention Fight Club and you will be getting a free gift. All right, do it. Make the call. See ya.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a podcast.